The Ultimate Keylogger is an example of a software-based keylogger for a Windows operating system. Notice that this can be set up to monitor many different items on the internet, including Yahoo Chat, emails, and general websites. It can also be utilized to monitor computer activities such as specific applications or events that occur. It will also take screenshots and, of course, record all of your keystrokes. It stores the data in a file called keyboard data that can be opened and read by the individual that knows the username and password to control the keylogger. This particular keylogger can be used for legitimate purposes, such as monitoring a child's usage on a computer or any other usage where a legitimate keylogger could be used for monitoring purposes.
That's right. Okay, in this demonstration, we're going to take a look at a software-based keylogger called Ultimate Keylogger, which is really easy to find. You can find it on the web at www.ultimatekeylogger.com. As you can see, you can purchase keyloggers from legitimate companies around the globe. And this is just one example of many available out there. This does have a free version that you can see, and down here there is an Ultimate Keylogger free edition. It has a few nice little updates, and you can download the trial version, which is what we will be utilizing. And we'll be utilizing the full version of Ultimate Keylogger in a trial version. Okay, to speed this up, we've already installed Ultimate Keylogger as an administrator on a Windows desktop. So we can go and bring that up now. A hacker actually would have already exploited this system through some other means, and they're now placing the keylogger on the system to capture the desired passwords or the user that this computer is not very happy with the individuals in the company, and maybe they have decided to try and capture the administrator passwords, and so they've placed the keylogger on the system for that purpose. So what that user is probably going to do is he's going to fake some kind of problem on his computer, which then is going to force the administrator to come over and log into the environment. All right, let's take a look at a couple of different items here, okay? We also have the ability to upload this information to an FTP. We can send it to an email address or to a local or networked folder. Now this is kind of interesting, as we can actually put this information someplace other than just here on the local system. Now we do have to put in those settings, of course, and we do have to set how often we're sending the reports, whether or not we want to include the screenshots, and whether or not we want to clear the logs after sending those screenshots. Okay? We can also use a password-protected zip archive, which is kind of cool. We can set that at a fairly secure AES 256-bit encryption. Now, let's look at the monitoring options. We can log applications, take screenshots, log all types of password keystrokes, monitor the clipboard, and log visited websites URLs. Now that is good to know. We do have a password protected, and we have to use the hotkeys Control-Alt-Shift-S in order to bring this program up. So you have to have quite a few fingers to make this thing happen. So we're going to go ahead and leave that as is. Now look at this. What is this? Banner. Show icon in the system notification area. So let's check this out. And we'll check this show icon. This is a notification area, okay? So let's go ahead and click apply. Now we can see here in the notification area the Ultimate Keylogger icon. All right, looks cool, but we don't necessarily want that. Most hackers would not want this. This is only if we're running this either for legitimate purposes or if we really want everybody to know that it's running in the background. So we'll go ahead and check that to not apply it and show it in the notification area. So what about the task manager? Let's check that out, how you can see here that the Ultimate Keylogger is running in applications. But remember, that is because we have it up and it is visible. So we'll go ahead and close that and continue on with our demonstration. Now we'll take a look at a couple of different ways of using this. Under these monitoring options, we're going to go ahead and take some screenshots. I'm going to go ahead and try this at, let's say, every 30 seconds. Let's see what we get for results, okay? Now, let's say you don't know what you're doing. You haven't used this application before. So you're going to want to test a couple of things and try some different things out to learn the best way to implement the software. Okay? So now let's go ahead and we're going to click Apply to start monitoring. And now we're going to click OK. So now that the application is gone, so we're going to go down here and look at the task manager, and we'll see that it is not listed there. Okay, so we've taken that out. We've made that a setting. The only thing we see is the Internet Explorer and yes, the website, but that's just because it's Internet Explorer. There are no different processes than what we had before, so we're all good. It's all the same. So now let's just go to a simple website, www.facebook.com, and we'll go ahead and try to log in here. Of course, I'm using a fake account again, so we would expect to get the please re-enter your password response. Okay, and we have a problem here. We cannot go to applications and find the ultimate keylogger. It's not here. It's not here either. But we cannot find the application anywhere. So now what? Do you remember what we discussed earlier? You have to use the hotkeys, Control-Alt-Shift-S, in order to bring up the ultimate keylogger program. So now we enter the password that we had set up when we were going through the installation of the program, and we'll receive this banner as we're utilizing, obviously, the evaluation version. So we just click I agree, and we'll continue on. We'll go ahead and stop the monitoring. Now we do not need to continue that. Now I'll take a look at the screenshots. We can see we have just a few here. We were only really taking 30 screenshots every 30 seconds, and I didn't make that last very long. So we can see where the user was at the time they were typing. Now we can look at the report. I'm going to minimize this. Allow blocked content. When we bring up that activity port, we can see that we went to ultimatekeylogger.com. And when I opened that new web browser page, it gave us that new page with all those links on it, and that's all these URLs that we see here listed here. Now we can see that we went to facebook.com, and we can see the screenshots listed here, which is really pretty cool, right? Now you can see right here that we entered keylogger@gmail.com for the username and keylogger for the password. You can see here that after we went to the Facebook web page, we get the screenshot and we can see exactly what was typed. We can also see that this was a failed login attempt, which is very good to know, so that we don't just take that for granted as before. Now, being the correct login. Now then it took us back to the Facebook page for failed logins, and you can see that, I clicked on the start menu so we can try to find the ultimate keylogger application. Remember, we couldn't find it. And then next you can see where we are doing the shortcut to log in to the ultimate keylogger. It also recorded the password for the keylogger program. It's pretty sophisticated. It just remembers everything. And then we see the S, which is actually the agreement for the evaluation pop-up screen that we had to select I agree. So this gives us a little bit of information pertaining to the activity report. All right, now let's go ahead and pull this thing back up. Now that we've seen some of the settings and how you can use this, keep in mind that you could disable the screenshots and not take any of them, or you could take a whole lot more. We could instead of 30 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, depending on your needs. Oftentimes, a hacker would disable them and not take screenshots at all. Usually, the hacker would send those reports out, usually via FTP. The hacker is not as likely to use the email. However, if they're on an internal network, they will use a network folder, but not one on their own PC, because they would prefer that other individuals get in trouble, right? So they're gonna send that to someone else. Now there's one other item that I want you guys to see with regards to being stealthy. Now what we have what they call make silent one-click install. And what this does is it allows you to create an ini file that will allow us to silently install Ultimate Keylogger on any PC. So I'm just going to go ahead and get back to the desktop. We'll click OK. And I'll open this, and you can see that this Ultimate Keylogger has all of these settings necessary to manage this installation. So what happens? Well, a hacker will take this ini file with all the appropriate settings along with the executable for the Ultimate Keylogger. And they'll place both of those files in a folder on the victim's PC and then perform a silent install and have it running in the background, sending all of the keys logged to the hacker. So if you're utilizing a fairly good antivirus solution, it really should find and stop this program unless you make some necessary changes to the file. Now, there are methods to obfuscate the signature of this executable, which would then hide itself from antivirus programs. So you have to be aware of that. That's something that they're going to try and do. Right? Ultimate Keylogger is a nice little free tool available to anyone. We do have a purchase version as well that would give you all of the features that I showed you today. And I do hope you enjoy this demonstration utilizing the Ultimate Keylogger application. Take some time to go find it, download it, use it, see what you can do with it.
AMAC is a keylogger designed for the Mac operating system. It functions very similarly to the Ultimate Keylogger, except is used on a Mac.